All right, fellow travelers. I thought this was the hair on the back of my neck is still standing up. And by the way, I'm called nowadays Ramblin' Randy. I've been called many things through the years, but currently it's Ramblin' Randy. And you'll probably find out why. And I use that as a disclaimer on all my calls. And I just moved my foot. Don't let your mind go crazy. The reason for this session is that I have come to the realization that the only way that I'm going to be able to get this vital strategy to the people that need it to help mitigate the damages being done to society in a whole. But as we focus in on our country, which is leading the way, as the U.S. goes, you can bet your sweet ass so will the rest of the world, and the rest of them are starting to circle their wagons around us to make damn sure we as a country, listen to this word, consent. Well, I was just listening to Edward Snowden, who now I find out from that video, I didn't know, I thought he was still hiding somewhere. He's on the board of directors of some Freedom Foundation. There's a part, well, I won't get into that now, but this video is something that everybody needs to see. I don't give a shit if you're on board with me or not. You need to be aware of this because it's real. Forget and they're weaponizing the term conspiracy theories. That as soon as you hear that, that's almost as bad as saying MLM. That little message part right there just came to me from the ambient, but it is in sync with the theme of the whole journey that you'll have with me if you do travel with me, and I need you. The country needs us together. Because things like I just heard, what percentage of people will hear that content? Very few. And we need to reach a critical mass of coherent, critical thinking people in order to have the energy and power necessary to change this dynamic, and we can do it. You know, you've heard the phrase that everybody has a purpose for being here, whether it's sleeping under a bridge and dying under that bridge. But I heard a story once that little girl was in the back of a car when she was little, and she went under a bridge and she kept seeing the same person in a cardboard box or something under there, and it moved her. It made a directional path for her in life. That was that person's mission. And that was in the cardboard box. They had value and didn't even know it. So we're all here on purpose. Think about what I just said. And what I suggest is everyone do is start thinking about what they're saying and what they're thinking about. You need to be extremely cautious with that. I can't even believe I'm having to talk like this. I sound like, Jordan Peterson sometimes. And hell, that's not me. That isn't the me that grew up in this very city, that a mile and a half from me, where they're unbeknownst, well, how would anyone know? This place was kept quiet, real quiet. About a mile and a half from me is the world's richest acre. It's produced more oil than that well over there that I believe it's the Delarose 2, Cromwell. That's their last name. But it's a mile and a half from me. I grew up in a strange town. So anyway, I went and did some unbelievable things in life. And everyone says, write a book. I mean, I'm just sitting here right now doing what I've been doing forever, going through a roller coaster of either being at the de Blasio with wooden custom made Italian shoes and probably wearing $2,000 or $3,000 worth of clothes every time I put something on. That was me. I owned a little independent drilling company. Hell, that went away when I quit. I realized what happens now in retrospect. When I lost interest. How in the hell could you lose interest in something? I don't know, but it happened. Whoop, down to the cellar I went. You know, it's been a roller coaster. And I really hadn't noticed much difference. You know, I never really had a fear of the roller coaster, the bottoms of the roller coaster, because when I'm down there is the only time I'd really start thinking about things. And I would create something from sheer thought that went parabolic, straight up, you know, from zero to hero in a matter of months. Hell, I didn't more know how to run the things I did than a man in the moon. Now, the oil company, I did go to school, you know, oil and gas technology school and things like that here in this town. Here, everybody was in the oil business, for God's sake. It's the oil capital of the world. Our radio station was KOCA, Kilgore, Oil Capital of America. Oh, God. Anyway, coming back to the way that I'm going to have to lay this out is going to have to be like this. This isn't something that you can put down in a manual and pass this thing around. You can't. This is 100%, here's a word that we've been hearing about a lot lately. This is 100% novel. In other words, no one's ever done this before. No one would do this because everybody's so damn greedy. But what I've come to realize is that this strategy that has been given to me, you don't have to do a damn thing if you have passion for the vehicle that I'm going to introduce to you. If you have a passion for this particular target that I'm going after, I'm creating magic here. Okay, that sounds weird. You might hang it up right now. And if you do, you're not the right person, because I am creating mental mercenaries. That's what I'm going to do. Have to have them. Got to have them. We got to have people who understand that what's happening right here in the dust, you need to get up above that about 10,000 feet and look down and see what's coming over the horizon. That's really the deal. But it comes through an intuitive type thing. The Holy Spirit, the in-between, as Eric Pippin called it. And you have to connect to that. They're doing their damnedest to block our ability. I'll get into all this stuff with you. Wild stuff. Stuff you'd think tenfold. Hell, they're talking about UFOs right now, but don't you be fooled. UFO my white ass. They got there might be some strangers up there mixed in. But we can talk about this. We can talk about this. And you will start picking things up like hell. You know, Greg Braden had a series out called The Seven Unseen Mirrors. We need him in our community that you'll hopefully be a part of. I need your mind. That's where the power's at. I'll show you the whole deal. But anyway, and I'm going to ramble. I'm going to hop from here to there, because a lot of this stuff, I go back and listen to what I said, because it flows. It flows. And the people who have followed me through the years, this isn't my first rodeo. I pop in and out of the public every now and then, like Saint Germain. My God, he knows about Saint Germain. Yes, I do. I also know quite a damn bit about Amschmel Bauer. Who? Well, you might know him is Amp Schmel Rothschild. You might have heard the name. Therein lies the problem. Human emotion run awry. It all really culminated and started in he did his little tributary off of the search for power that started, when there was but 2 and then 3 and 4 and then, they need a quorum. And if you don't come my way, I'm going to hit you at this damn club, until fear came in and started controlling. Anyway, we're going to get into all that. That's what's happening to us right now is this fear gig they're doing. Working damn good, isn't it? It's working. How you got your mask on? I had never put one on. I put some custom-made ones on. It had fishnet where they could see my lips moving. I could breathe and sit on the top. Trust the science. Put a paper bag over my head, cut holes out for my eyes, wore sunglasses. Went to the store and it said, at the top of it said, "Think I look stupid? Look in the mirror." And so that's the kind of shit I did. I got thrown out a lot of stores, but I didn't have the data. I didn't have the education that I've come to now. And a lot of this stuff, you have to be looking for it, or it has to fall in your path. And that what I'm talking about now is these people, I've always known about common law, but people are pulling it off now. You're a natural person, natural from your creator, with certain unalienable rights like free thinking and shit like that. And so, wild stuff. But we're going to talk about those things. Let me get back on point here. The reason you're looking at Leave It to Beaver and them is I was going to do a video about that powerful thing that Edward Snowden just did. Blew me away. It blew me away. There isn't any reason for anyone to try to feel like they need to hide shit. They've got it all. They've got it all, and this whole deal, even these VPNs and things like that we pay money for these protector deals, hell, they got it all. That's just to make you feel good. Feel like, if you're sneaking around, you ain't sneaking around. If you're going to pull this off and turn the tide, you got to do it inside the scope of their current system and just blow them up like a balloon. We put our system inside of theirs. We blow it up, put more energy into it. It circulates, it grows. More beings are wanting to come to that hallowed place of happiness in a fair exchange of value for the effort and energy that you put in, and that you're that others will reciprocate when they see your value, that kind of thing. And we'll talk about that. That's why I'm here. And literally that phrase I just said is why I am here. That's my purpose. And I'm going to be the initial teacher. But I'm expecting you, those that catch on to this, to become a duplicate, basically mental clone of me. That's what I did in the oil business. I had 5 offices, 120 brokers, and every single word they said, I wrote down. It was their cubicle wall. They knew exactly where to look in any situation, no matter what the customer said. I had managers that could go around, hear what the customer's saying with a little headset and point with a ruler that says, read this and read it now. Don't say another word. Just when he pointed, they started reading. And it was a machine. So I understand that dynamic. I'm bringing that forward to let you know that I have a plan. I have a plan that, as the show that used to be on TV, it was called Mission Impossible. Should you choose to take this mission? Oh, gosh. I mean, but you don't have to do anything but just listen. What? All you've got to do is simply listen to me. And when you become that manifestic, a manifestic is a being, I coined that phrase, is a being that creates their own reality from sheer thought. It isn't going to be hard to figure out what's going on here. It's so basic I could explain the whole damn thing in probably 3 minutes. But no one's going to believe something so damn simple That's been my problem. And it segues me into what you're looking at right there on your screen. Do you see that? Okay, I was going to do, as I mentioned earlier, a video on this Edward Snowden thing. I'm just doing these damn videos and throwing them out there to the universe because no one's listening to this right now. I know that. But I also was given an Essene mirror, back to Greg Braden, is that the Essene mirrors, the studies of the Essene, they believe that your life's path, if you're on purpose, if you're on track, that you'll see things. Some people call it serendipitously, but these things have become a way of life for me. You might have something you thought about 6 months ago that you felt was powerful, had value to it, and it fell by the wayside because you didn't have quite the answer. You're looking for an answer or something, and 6 months later you're riding down the road, you see a billboard, and boom, it hits you. My God, I was right. I was on track. But unless you have the ability to flop back and forth with your RAM, that's your random access memory that you have stored, and then know that when you call on that, that's going to open up a little channel to the big boy, the big motherboard in the sky, and you're going to put this thing together. Well, I've been doing this, unbeknownst to myself, all of my life for this right here. What I'm going to try to tell you is I can tell you with 1,000% confidence that if you need a tremendous amount of energy, or ample amount, or ever how much that you want of energy, which means the same thing of what you call money, energy is the source, the core source. The originator of the thread is energy. And then energy is then stored in storehouses of value. And then those, like dollars, gold, silver, all that shit, those are just storehouses to represent how much blood, sweat, and tears that you put in, that someone saw that you had value, gave you some of their energy in a storehouse of value, be it dollar, silver, gold, pigs, whatever. You made a deal, an analog deal. That's very important, an analog deal. Hell with this quantum bullshit. Everything in the whole world is analog. You make a decision or give consent. Okay, it's analog. It means between two people. You're the only person that can hear me right now. I'm the only person talking to you right now in my world. There might be 10 billion people that hear this whole thing. That would be nice. We would live in a wonderful world, I can tell you that, if everyone was to live off a principle of a fair exchange of value. I will get into all that. That's part of this matrix that's been downloaded into me. Anyway, back to Snowden. You can see why I can't write a manual on this. Because it's something that's innate, meaning it's already inside of you, that all I want to do is stir it a little bit. And you're a manifestic now, don't know it. If you want to get up and go get a drink of water, if you want to reach over and turn this thing off, you got to have what? You got to do what first? You got to think about it. And you'll hear this next phrase a lot. Where attention goes, energy flows, and that's the seed of manifestation. Think about that. I meant that literally. Think about that. Okay, where attention goes, energy flows, and that's the seed of manifestation. But the first thing you have to do is have an initial exciter thought. If that exciter thought catches your attention, then you focus and you pay. You pay. Everything costs. You pay with your attention. And where attention goes, energy flows. That's the seed of manifestation. And guess what? Fear gets your damn attention. Okay? They got you focusing on that. They have your attention. Where attention goes, energy flows. And guess who in the hell is creating this hell that we're going through? You are. Until you become aware. bullshit with this waking up. Everybody wakes up in the morning. You got to wake up, see that the stuff's still going on, become aware of it, and then focus on it and pay with your attention. And you'll go down the rabbit hole. And you'll find out your own truth about it. What I need, we need, everybody needs to right now is we need to reach a critical mass of 1 million minds or more. When we get these people after going through all this on the same page, you don't have to do anything except sit there and think. You think that's crazy? Look up the Monks Foundation or the Oneness Foundation. It's a bunch of monks. They did a little demo up there in the hills above L.A. Crime, big time thing. You can look this up. It's fact. And they started, a bunch of them did a tag team deal on this meditating thing. They're shooting beams of thought down there to L.A. And they lowered the crime rate. They tag teamed this to all these colleges, Stanford, Yale, all these people's up there logging these people in, makes damn sure that everything's on the up and up or what have you. But they lowered the damn crime rate. They did this for several days in a row on a tag team thing. Got tuned up, during the shift change. And then they started beaming. And what happened when they quit beaming? Crime went up. Amazing. We influence we create it. But let me get back over here to this Snowden thing. I was going to make the video. And so I was going to show just a simple picture of that they got a plaque down there at the World's Richest Acre. It's right down there on the street from where I'm sitting. And I'm just going to do that. And while I'm going through my photos and files, I see this file. And it's there on your screen now. And I've been on this thing trying to tell people something as simple as, hello, can you hear me? That's how simple it is for you to acquire as much value, money, as you actually want by applying a strategy that the team that's stealing from us created. We just tweak it to where the big bucks come our way instead of them. And it's inside of Caesar's law. They can't say shit. We're just doing what and so they can't do anything. That's why I can't just be blurting this out to, everybody and their brother and sister. I'm looking now for leaders, people who can halfway tune in to what I'm doing. I'm not asking for a damn thing. All I want, if you think, well, what's the expense of this? All I want you to do is pay with your attention. And then the spirit will take over from there. You'll catch on to how this thing works, those that are going to be leaders. I'm talking about being able to be we the people and have power beyond comprehension. Let me repeat that. Once we reach critical mass, the 100 monkey theory, of a certain number of critically thinking, coherent on a target beings that understand this dynamic, we can flip it. Uh-oh, he has lost it. No, I haven't. What if you went into a football stadium and all they offered was hot dogs, and someone was to say, hey, I want a hamburger, and the whole damn place said, hey, this is hot dog town. Another example is if you walk into a big room and someone walks in, that everybody heads just turns because they're emanating from their being a power that you can only get when you are in a certain mindset. And that mindset is both good and bad. Anyway, I'm getting off into a little crazy. I was looking for pictures and I found this particular presentation that I created 3 or 4 years ago. For sure, not more than 4, because it has Orange Man bad in here. But I want you to watch this. And the reason I'm showing this to you is this is an Ascene mirror for me. This tells me that I'm on track. I'm carrying my water now, whether anyone hears this in the next 100 years. I am carrying my water. I'm doing what has been given to me. I'm sharing it because TikTok, if people don't catch on to what I'm saying right now, it'll be a hard row to hoe. But watch this. Watch this, and I'll chat with you through it. Let me put this thing in my lap. I hit this button here to see what it would look like, and look what I got. Whoa, is that clean? This was done 3 or 4 years ago. So I've been on this way before I made this video. I've been on this path of simply trying to explain something to people that's so damn simple. And most all of them have done the dynamic that I'm going to be showing. The strategy's not new. These people, the cat with the, Uncle Sam, they're using it against us. It's exponential growth. You've heard of Amway and those things like that. The difference between the Amway and the United States government's Federal Reserve banking system, which is fractional, is that this one here, the U.S. deal, is structured, and so is the Amway, Mary Kay, all that crap, which I've owned some very big ones. And so that was part of my mosaic I'm bringing into here. Every one of those MLM deals is destined to fail. It's designed that way. Now, if they were to modify, remember I said just tweak some things to where instead of someone catching a Greyhound bus in there to the convention and watching some cat go across the stage that made $15 or $20 million, and they had to bring their own bagged lunch on the Greyhound bus to get there to see them, they felt good about that, and because they think they can be there too. Bullshit. They'll never get there with the way that system's coded. Period. End of discussion. However, change the code. That's what I'll say. And so I made this about 7 years ago, or 4 years ago or something. Look at what it says. That's me there. So that kind of will give us the timeline. This right here, I don't have a pointer now, but the fade to black, that tells me that was about 3 years ago. That's Jimmy Church's hat of Fade to Black Radio. Great guy, Jimmy. He's going to be one of the influencers in this strategy that we're going to do. That's me. I look like I don't have any teeth. I do. That's at Contact in the Desert where that picture is taken. And the picture on the right is obvious where we're at. But again, remember, this is 3 years ago. And I was going to have to create another little video like this to get my leaders. By the way, about these leaders, have you ever been riding around the country and someone says, you see a big old castle or something up there, and by chance you find out about it and said, well, that was made by the great-great-grandfather, and they was in the train business or they were in the lumber business, whatever it was. They were at the right place at the right time. There was some information that came out. They were either in the loop or they wasn't in the loop, but they was riding the coattail, and that's what these generals and commanders, if you will, the founders is what I'm looking for right now, that will be those people that were at the right place, and then we start building our base. And so here's this here, Ramblin' Randy. So see at the top there? Look at this. The greatest generation waving bye to our once great country as the bankers lied and smiled. I grew up with the Beaver, Wally, June, and what was his name? I forgot his name. It'd come to me. I have a domain, by the way, that I got a while back called The New Greatest Generation. Remember, serendipitously, I found this particular thing. In the beginning of this video, I said that hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I just watched this. And it's exactly apropos, big word from East Texas, with the situation that we're all in, and it tells the story of what I'm looking for, because this is so simple it's silly. But I have the domain. I've had it for a while, and we're hearing a lot of people on the news. That's another Essene mirror. They're using that phrase, you know, that this could be the new greatest generation. For some reason I got that checked and see, and I've got that domain. I made this because this is what's happened to us. This is how the Ponzi works. This is how Amway works. This is how Mary Kay works. This is how SkyBiz that I was involved with works. You ever heard of that one? Boy, oh boy, did it ever make a lot of money. 180 million in 18 months. That was in the 80s. That was an interesting ride. But this is what happens here. Is the upper left is 1913 when Woodrow Wilson allowed the Federal Reserve banking system to come in, and we went to where this Federal Reserve banking system, fractional banking system, started charging interest to loan us money. In hell, who knows if they even had any collateral. They just created this shit. And so we have lost our buying power of $1 in 2013 was a nickel. That's how much they have stolen through the years from the energy created by others, whether you're thinking, you're a doctor, you're digging a ditch, anything in between, whether you do nowadays videos, blah, 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 all of that they've been stealing through this Federal Reserve debt-based system, which we'll get into all that. You don't really have to know about all that. Here's all that you need to establish is that you trust me. Because without that analog trust that you'll need to instill into others, we're beating a dead horse. I'm shooting straight with you. This will work if we work it. The only criteria or requirement for me to teach someone this, by just simply listening to me, is that you have a passion for the United States of America. You believe in the Constitution. You understand and believe in the Bill of Rights. And above all, or equal to all, would be you believe in the rule of law applied equally to all. And without that, as Motel 6 says, come back later or we'll leave the light on, because this is not for you. This is being given to me, through me, from the ambient and my journey in life, and I'm on purpose. And the purpose is not to empower the bankers and all their shenanigans, but to empower the people so that they will get a fair exchange of value for the energy that they expend, no matter what they do. Remember, energy, you do it when you wake up in the morning. It's your thinking. And your thinking is going to influence what you end up offering to the world, and then they will either accept your offer of the abilities that you have based on how much thinking you've been doing about it, and you become very proficient at being a brain surgeon, and you offer your energy and your acquired knowledge to the world, and someone accepts that offer. That's analog. Anyway, interesting stuff, isn't it? Isn't this interesting? But I'll tell you something else that's interesting. Tell me how much you want. If you're passionate about this country, it isn't going to matter. It's going to be a water faucet. It's going to be one of those city water pipes when they clean the fire hydrants going across the street. That's how much of this energy is going to flow back to you, because why? We need minds. We need minds. I'm going to show you how all this is going to work. We're going to start a homeschool, if you will. And it's going to be the University of Paul Revere. We're messengers, and we're going to be the teachers at this particular homeschool university. You're both a teacher and you are the student at the same time, because we collaborate. This is no flim-flam thing I'm talking to you about here, people. This is in the big leagues. You can't get any higher than what I'm talking about now. And here's the people. They figured it out, didn't they? They figured it out. They figured out how to work the human. Yeah. Look at old Janet Yellen. She's back in there again, isn't she? Isn't she something? Unbelievable. You know, when Badman Orange showed up, first thing I saw the day that I saw him is he was standing with a picture of Andrew Jackson behind him, and I just paused. And I said, could he be the one? Because who could stand up against Goliath? And Andrew Jackson knew about what they were doing, trying to enslave people without them knowing it. Whether you like it or not, you damn slave. By definition. Anyway, we won't get into that. Andrew Jackson says, you are a den of vipers and thieves. I intend to rout you out, and by the eternal God, I will rout you out. That's Andrew Jackson said that. The reason I bring that up is Orange Man Bad sure has a lot of his pictures that has in the background. I firmly believe that if we use, and we're going to be advocating this, I'm shifting, you'll understand what that means down the road. If we use an AR-22 as our weapon of choice, we'll win in 2022. What is an AR-22? That is an American revival now until 2022 for midterms. We need to use the AR-22. That'll catch some attention. I have a lot more to say to you, but I want to say this. The solution is education, and that's exactly what I'm going to offer. And the expense to you is you'll have to pay with your attention. This is Ramblin' Randy, guarding and supervising the southern perimeter in the deep piney woods of East Texas. May God bless you and the horse that you rode in on, and I'll catch you on the flip side. We down. Say person who has been honestly mistaken all of their life, no fault of their own, learns the truth. They either will cease to be mistaken or they will cease to be honest. What say you? Ramblin' Randy. We down.